Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel for another Sims 4 speed build. Today I have a Spanish style home for you guys that I've built here in the Pinnacles area of Del Sol Valley. This lot is normally home to the Bailey Moon Manor, which I've demolished in order to build this home here. And I think it's easy to say that this is one of the best lot views in any world of The Sims 4. I absolutely love how this overlooks the entire city and how you can see the ocean and the beach in the distance, especially at night with the stars. And of course, the sunsets up here are absolutely amazing. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably noticed yesterday I posted a picture. I was working on the landscaping for this house right as the sun was setting just off to the right side of the house, and it was so pretty. I was just sitting here watching it and not getting any building done because it was so beautiful. I think I took like 50 screenshots of that sunset, but it's just really a super nice lot, very beautiful. But anyway, this home was requested by a viewer. Again, if you watched my last video, you saw another requested home. And this time, I have to say that this request was sort of unusual in the types of items that she was looking for and the type of house that she wanted. And I have to admit, I was pretty intimidated. First of all, I've never built a Spanish style home before, ever. So that was intimidating just in and of itself. And then a lot of the things that she was looking for, I was nervous about because I wasn't really sure. It was just very different than what I usually do. And if you build, you know how it is. You get into like these patterns and you use certain items and you do things a certain way and you floor plan a certain way, and you don't really think about it. It becomes sort of automatic. And so when you have to just disregard everything that you do and think outside the box and really experiment around, I guess is the best way to say it, it's kind of scary, but it's fun. It definitely took a lot of extra time because I kept trying a lot of different things and experimenting with a lot of different floor plans and styles. And so I spent pretty much the whole weekend just working on this and tweaking it and changing it. And I do like how it turned out, but it kind of reminds me of when I first started building. I didn't feel very confident, and so I think there's definitely a lot of room to improve. But in the same, I mean, you have to try new things, right? If you want to learn new styles or improve your existing styles or whatever, you always have to learn and challenge yourself. So it was definitely a challenge that I was excited to take on, and I hope you guys will think that this turned out okay. But anyway, she had requested a Spanish style house that had 2 master bedrooms. Her Sims family is a man and woman who I believe are married, but then his sister also lives with them, and she has a toddler. So it's kind of like 2 families living in the same house. So she wanted 2 masters and then a toddler bedroom, and then she wanted also 3 additional bedrooms just for like family growth. I assume that maybe the married couple are going to have kids or something. I'm not really sure. So 3 additional bedrooms for that. And then she also wanted 2 home offices. She wanted one on the first floor for a computer programmer. I think she said computer programmer. Now I can't remember. And then one upstairs for the wife, who I believe she is studying to be a chef with hopes of opening her own restaurant. So I had 2 offices I needed to work on. And then there were a lot of other just particular items, some small, some bigger items that you'll probably notice me putting in the home along the way that might seem a little unusual than what I would normally put in my houses. But it is kind of cool when you take requests because a lot of times, like, there's certain details or aspects of the game that I don't use for my Sims, and so when I see what someone else does, it's kind of interesting and sometimes even gives me good ideas of things that I want to try, you know, with my families. So it's definitely a learning experience, and it's also very interesting to see. Anyway, I'm going to apologize now that this video I had to cut a lot of things out, and I also had to speed it up quite a bit because I basically spent the whole weekend working on it, and I was just really taking my time, which is not very conducive to like making videos, because normally, you know, when you kind of know what you're doing, you do go pretty quickly and things are sort of automatic and you're in the vibe and you're building and it maybe only takes a few hours. This being such a new concept for me, it just took a really long time. So I had to really hack into this video. I apologize for that. But anyway, I meant to say we were working on the front, but the front facade of this house was based on a real home. Basically what I did is I went into Google and I just typed in Spanish modern home and tried to find something that looked doable for The Sims. A lot of Spanish homes, which I haven't really studied Spanish architecture or anything, I don't really know a lot, but I did notice that a lot of them have curved walls or circular type rooms or circular type structures on the roof, and things that I knew I wasn't going to be able to replicate since we don't have curved walls. But when I saw this house, it looked pretty doable. I mean, the shape of it and the structure of the roof and everything looked like something that could be replicated for The Sims. So that's why I picked this one. And then for the back of the house, I just sort of scrolled through Google and looked at a bunch of different houses. And actually the person who requested also sent me some pictures. So I just kind of studied like a bunch of different pictures and kind of pulled bits and pieces from all of them. One of the pictures that she had sent me had these like balconies overlooking the pool, which I thought were really cool. So I kind of did that. And then there was another picture that had like the enclosed patio with like the big archways. And so I picked that. So I'm just kind of like picking certain things out of certain pictures and putting them all in. I don't even know what I'm doing, honestly. Like anytime you build something for the first time, it's so scary because you want to do a good job, but you really don't know. At least for me, like I really didn't know what I was doing. And so a lot of it was just trial and error. Here you see me trying to hang these lights. Okay, I was bound and determined to put these lights over this pool because one of the pictures that the viewer sent me had these strings of lights over the pool, and I just thought it looked so cool. The problem is we don't have any ability to really change our stringed lights. We can I tried sizing it up, but it still wouldn't reach across the pool. So I ended up kind of putting this together. I don't know. Honestly, if you download this house and you delete this, you're not going to hurt my feelings because it is kind of weird. But I just really wanted these lights over the pool so badly that I just kind of made this sort of like island where I could put the poles, and then I ended up putting like some fountains there. I don't know what I was thinking. I was just trying to make something up that would at least look maybe semi-halfway decent. But it is a little bit weird. But if you saw the picture, you'd know what I was trying to do. It looked really cool at night, just how the stringed lights were hanging over the pool in the dark. But anyway, there were a lot of those little details that I was pulling out of pictures that I was finding on Google. And these little planter boxes were something that I saw online as well. So a lot of trial and error, a lot of experimenting, just really trying to basically kind of make it up as I went along. Now this, I have to give a shout out to Kate Emerald because first of all, she has a great channel and she's an amazing builder, like so good, I could cry. But anyway, she made this Mediterranean house the other day, and she had constructed these like trellises using half walls, and I even commented on her post. I was like, I have to try that. I've never done anything like that. And of course, I've never done Spanish or Mediterranean houses either. So this idea is 100% from her. I think it turned out pretty cute though. Maybe hers were a little bit better than mine though. I think she might have extended those walls out further. I'm not sure. I need to go back and look at her video again. But that's definitely where that inspiration came from, to have that sort of trellised area, that the grill, that's right off the kitchen and the grill's under there. And so anyway, she gets 100% credit for that idea. And that's something I think I need to keep working on and experimenting with until I can make it, as good as it can be. But anyway, a lot of time spent on the exterior of this home. Right up until the end, I was still making changes. In fact, even as I was editing this video, I was making a list. I was jotting down notes of all the things I want to go in and change before I upload it to the gallery. So actually, the video you're watching now, there's going to be even a few more changes. I think it's one of those things where you don't really notice certain things until you watch it later. So there's even still some stuff that needs to be fixed. And I think anytime you try a new style, you'll improve every time you do it. Because when I look at just even the regular suburban houses that I built a year ago, they're totally different than the ones that I build today. So it's a learning process. But anyway, back to the build. This house has a total of 6 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, as well as all the other rooms you'd expect. Living room, formal dining room. There are 2 home offices, like I mentioned before. There's a good-sized kitchen and laundry room, and then they have an enclosed patio by the pool, plus 2 other patios, like open-air patios. So there's lots of outdoor areas and outdoor entertaining and outdoor living space. There's also a gazebo just on the edge of the lot, which I think I'm getting ready to build right now. And it overlooks, the city and the ocean. And she had requested a massage table and some home gym equipment and things like that. So I ended up, I don't know if she'll like this, but I ended up putting the massage table in the gazebo, because I just thought to myself, what could possibly be more relaxing and amazing than getting a massage right on the edge of this, cliff overlooking the ocean? So I thought that was pretty cool. And the yoga mat and meditation stool and all that wellness stuff is over there by the gazebo as well. And then there's also a pool, obviously you see, and a hot tub and outdoor dining. And then I left a big spot in the side yard empty for like play equipment, because I know her family has a toddler and probably they're going to have more kids as well. So I left space for like monkey bars and swings and slides and all that kind of stuff, but I didn't actually put them in the build. Just aesthetically, I was trying to keep it like a little more nicer, and I didn't want to put like a ton of, kids stuff in the side yard, but there's plenty of room to add that if you have kids, if you download this home and you have kids that, need play space. Oh, and there's also items for a cat. This family has a cat. So now you see I'm starting the floor planning, and this was such a weird house. The shape was so strange. It took me forever to do this floor plan. But she had requested that the home be pretty just much a normal family home inside with just some Spanish accents. She didn't want just like a straight up, Spanish interior, which is probably a good thing because I probably don't even know what that is. But I did use a lot of Jungle Adventure. And the nice thing about Jungle Adventure is I do feel like it has that sort of Spanish vibe, but yet it is fairly modern constructed. I didn't want the furniture to look too, old and broken down. I didn't want it to be like a historic home or anything like that. So everything is pretty modern and pretty current. which is what she was looking for. So hopefully that worked out okay. But I put the kitchen over here in this sort of wing, this back wing of the house by the pool. Couple of reasons why I chose to put it here. Number one, I like how there's a lot of sun here. I think that's really nice for a kitchen. Also, I like the fact that it's close to the grill and the outdoor dining. I've said before in other videos that to me, logically, it makes sense that, you know, your outdoor dining table and your grill would be fairly close to your kitchen as you're coming, you know, in and out with food. So I decided to put it here. The room is a little bit strange. It's kind of long and rectangular, but I think it's still turned out pretty cute. They've got plenty of bar stools there where the family can eat in the kitchen if they'd like to. And since the female in the family is an aspiring chef, I gave her a pretty nice kitchen. She's got the double ovens. She's got like a lot of the more high-end, you know, knives and some of that stuff from Dine Out that looks very chef-like, restaurant-ish like. So I wanted it to kind of be like a chef's kitchen. Then out here for the living space, the living room and dining room are fairly dark. I decided to go with a lot of dark wood in here just because to me it felt very Spanish inspired, I guess. And I also feel like that just the rough cut of those Jungle Adventure floorboards looked nice with this sort of rustic Jungle Adventure furniture. But still modern and current, and I think it still looks like just a regular family home, just maybe with a bit of extra detail. And it's pretty big space. That's one thing is when you replicate a house that you see a picture of online, you never really know how much space you're gonna have inside. Oh, do you see how these plants are in shadow? This drives me absolutely batty. Why are these plants like black? I don't understand. I tried like 10 different lights. I feel like this shadow issue is getting worse and worse. I don't know. I don't know if you guys have noticed this in your game. I think I've talked about this in other videos, but just as a builder, it's like one of my number one pet peeves right now is how certain items, especially with like cabinets or plants or things that go on the wall, are just being cast into this dark, dark, dark shadow. I don't understand. Somebody said it had something to do, I think maybe it was James Turner I was watching the other day, said something about that it had something to do with where you were placing the light, but I tried placing the light in like 10 different places and it still wasn't helping. So I don't know what the problem is. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry for those very dark plants by the door. I tried and I just couldn't make it work. But here I sort of built this entertainment center. I mean, it kind of looks strange, but I think it works out okay. We just don't really have big entertainment centers that work for these giant TVs. And so you always kind of have to just make something. So basically what I did is I took some of those Jungle Adventure counters, cabinets, and then I used some shelving and then just some black wood wallpaper and just kind of made a makeshift entertainment center. And then right off of the main living area is this sort of outdoor, I don't know what you would call this, like an outdoor patio, outdoor living space, where I put the fireplace and some seating. Later I went back and put the treadmill in here too, because she had said on her list that she wanted her gym equipment to have a nice view. So I thought, well, this is a pretty nice view right here by the pool and by the overlook of the city. So I thought that was a good spot. I'm kind of working on the outside and the inside of the house at the same time. And it's, I think mostly just because this is such a new concept for me that I kept going back and forth between the in and the out. Okay, so here is the downstairs office, which this is the one that's for the computer programmer. And I don't really know if a computer programmer has to have a specific type of computer. I just put that laptop there, but if that's not good enough, if you need like a more high-end computer, I'm not really sure what exactly is required for that job, but you could easily just swap out for a different type of computer. But this is basically just a standard office other than adding a few extra computer type accessories. I think I put like a drone and that new little like robot thing we got that like you can tinker with. I tried to think of a few things. That decor piece that looks like a hard drive, I think I used that. And just things that I thought would go for a computer programmer. But this office does not have a door. If you wanted to enclose it, you could and put a door here, but I decided to leave it open. I just thought it looked kind of nice that way. And this living room is a combination of Jungle Adventure and Seasons. Those couches are Seasons. And I kind of skipped myself doing like the dining room and the entry and all that. Okay, so this is one of the master bedrooms. And I don't know, I guess this would maybe go for the computer programmer and the chef, since it's on the first floor here near the office. But it really could go for either. And again, I went with Jungle Adventure in here for the furniture and the doors, all of that. The bed, the nightstands, the chest of drawers, that's all Jungle Adventure. And the walls are kind of dark, sort of a medium brown. And so I went with like the lighter wood, sort of tan furniture to balance out that darkness. But it's pretty much just a standard master bedroom. And there's actually another bedroom in this house that could be used as a master, since she didn't really have any specifications for the other 3 bedrooms. There's another one that I made as sort of like a guest room that could actually be a master as well. So technically, I guess this house might have 3 masters. I don't know. There are a lot of bedrooms. And, you know, if you download this and you have like a lot of kids or teens or whatever, you might have to swap out some furniture just because, you know, this particular house has sort of an unusual setup. If you just have the need of one master and the rest for kids, I think you could easily make that happen. Okay, so this is the upstairs office for the chef. And so for her, I was just thinking like, okay, what would a chef's office look like? I don't really know. So I was looking through everything we have from Dine Out. I pulled out these pictures that are like menu pictures. They're like pictures of food, and that picture of wine. I don't know. It kind of goes with a chef, I think, especially the food picture. And I gave her some cookbooks and some menus and just a bunch of stuff from Dine Out. I think it turned out kind of cute. And this room is so big, you could easily add, you know, more details. And then just down the hall is another master. Okay, so this is the one I was envisioning for the sister. She is an actress and she has a daughter who is a toddler. And so I made her room with all of that in mind. So I was thinking, okay, if you're an actress, what do you need? You gotta have a mirror and a microphone, I think. And since she has a toddler daughter, I put the toddler's room next door to hers. And then I kind of gave her like her own little living space up here with like a couch and stuff. Because I thought if you're living with your brother and his wife, you might need sort of your own little area to just be alone, where you can lock your bedroom door and sit on the couch and read magazines or whatever. Like if you don't really feel like hanging out with the rest of the family. So I kind of envisioned that as I was working on this room and gave her sort of her own little escape from everybody else. And again, this is all Jungle Adventure. I feel like with the black and gray and white colors, it does have that modern look to it, which I had never really spent much time thinking about until I worked on this house. But Spanish modern, I think, is an actual architectural term that like I said before, is my first time working with. So I thought this particular swatch of the Jungle Adventure fit that perfectly. And I just gave her some magazines and books and various things. I think this turned out to be a pretty cute room. If you don't have as many adults as this simmer has, you could make this into a teen. I think this would be a really cute room for a teen as well, especially if it's a teen with, you know, the aspiration to be an actress. But for this particular family, it is intended for the mom to be next door to her daughter. So the toddler is a little girl who likes space, which is kind of interesting because I don't think I've ever done a toddler room with any space type decor before. So that was kind of fun and new. I stuck with sort of dark rustic tones in here as well. And I tried to add a few space items to tie in to her, since that's something that she's into. And most of this furniture is like from the regular toddlers and kids packs. There's a dollhouse and a bookcase, there's toys, there's a toy box, there's toddler tablet, toddler building blocks, toddler books, all the regular toddler stuff. And then I added that space picture and then that little picture there with the astronaut as sort of a nod to her interest in space. This room does have a door that goes onto a little small balcony. So if that freaks you out for a toddler room, you could just lock that door if you don't want the toddler to be able to go outside. Okay, so then across the hall is a bedroom that I've just made like a general kids room. I decided to put 2 beds in here just because it was kind of a big room and I thought it would be nice if they end up having twins or 2 kids that want to share. And this is pretty much the end of the video. I cut out the bathrooms up here and the laundry room and the hallway and a few other things just for the sake of time. I'm trying my hardest to get these videos to 30 minutes. So I'm sacrificing a few rooms for the sake of that. But anyway, I really appreciate you guys coming to watch today. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more builds from me. You can follow me on the Sims Gallery. My ID is ErikaBuilds. This home is available now for download. And also be sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter to see lots of pictures and works in progress and what I'm up to and things that I'm building. So be sure to follow me over there. And that's all for today. So I will see you guys next time. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye. you.